Today, we're diving into the work of a thinker from the 7th century to tackle one of the absolute biggest questions you could ever ask. I mean, seriously, what is this all for? What's the ultimate point of being human? It's a question we've all wrestled with at some point, and our guide for this explainer, a philosopher named Maximus the Confessor, he gave an answer that is, well, it's pretty mind-bending. He believed that our deepest, most fundamental longing is, and I quote, to be wholly contained within the Creator. He had a name for this process, divinization, the idea that a human being could become totally, completely united with the divine. Yeah, it's a radical idea, and believe me, he took it very, very seriously. Now, for Maximus, this wasn't just some dusty old philosophical thought experiment. No, he saw it as a radical invitation, a promise, really, that we could actually participate in the very life of the divine. So the big question is, okay, how in the world did he think that was even possible? Well, our guide on this journey is Maximus himself, and our map is his masterpiece, the Ambigua. Now, full disclosure, this text is famously dense and complex. It really is kind of like trying to navigate a labyrinth. But as it turns out, that's actually the whole point. The book itself tells us why it's so complex. The Ambigua is a labyrinth because it's designed to mirror the universe itself, in all its beautiful, messy, bewildering glory. You see, what Maximus is trying to do is hand us a blueprint for all of reality. And to even begin to read this cosmic blueprint, there are two key terms we have to get our heads around: the Logos and the Logoi. These are, without a doubt, the essential building blocks of his entire vision. So first up, you've got the Logos, with a capital L. For Maximus, this is the single unified divine source, God, that contains the eternal principles for everything that has ever existed or ever will exist. You can almost think of it as the master source code for the entire universe. And then, flowing out from that one single Logos, you have the many Logoi with a lowercase l. These are the unique principles, the divine blueprints embedded inside every single created thing. A star, a tree, you, me. Everything has its own unique purpose, its own reason for being, and it comes directly from that one divine source. So you see the relationship here, right? You have the one, the Logos, which expresses its infinite creativity through the many, the Logoi. It's this really powerful vision of how a single divine mind can give birth to the absolutely incredible diversity we see all around us, while also connecting it all back together. Okay, so this is all really fascinating in theory, but it brings up a huge question. If this divine blueprint is literally woven into the fabric of everything, how are we supposed to, actually see it? How do we even get a glimpse of this deeper reality? Now, you might think a philosophy like this is all about rejecting the messy physical world to find some higher spiritual plane. But for Maximus, that's a massive misconception. He argued that the material world isn't some obstacle we have to escape from. No, it's the very path we have to walk. We have to go through it, not around it. And he doesn't just leave it at that. He lays out a pretty clear 3-stage path. It all starts with what he calls ascetic practice, which is basically purifying our senses from all the selfish desires that kind of cloud our vision. From there, you move to contemplation, where you learn to read the divine purposes, those logi, in the world around you and in Scripture. And all of that leads to the final stage, illumination, where you start to gain direct knowledge of things as they truly are. So where does this path ultimately lead? What's the final destination? Well, this whole journey of practice and contemplation has one ultimate goal. And it brings us right back to that wild, radical invitation from the very beginning. The idea of divinization, of actually becoming like God. And if this is all starting to sound a little too theoretical, a little too abstract, well, Maximus has an answer for that. He actually points to a real person who he claims achieved this state, a man he calls only a certain great elder, who had developed some truly extraordinary abilities as a result of this whole journey. And get this, it's widely believed this wasn't just some convenient fable he made up. This wise elder was very likely Maximus's own spiritual mentor. So he wasn't just writing about a cool concept, he was trying to describe a profound, real-life transformation that he had witnessed with his own eyes. And that really gets to the core of what Maximus is offering us. It's so much more than just philosophy. It's a vision of a completely unified cosmos, a universe where nothing is an accident, where every single thing has a divine purpose that connects it back to one single creative source. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. In our modern world, which can feel so fragmented, so random, so chaotic sometimes, what would change if we really believed that every single thing, including ourselves, had an intrinsic divine blueprint just waiting to be discovered?